You are going against the will of Allah.
In this video, I ask a selection of settlers if they have any message to pass on to Muslims that live in the West.
You may have heard lots of things about settlers and things like that. I would remind a lot of the Muslim viewers here that there are many negative stereotypes that are peddled about Muslims and that the average person believes that aren't true about Muslim people. And just think about possibly how some of the stereotypes you may have heard about people like me may be coming from the same kinds of sources, and maybe challenge yourself to challenge some of those stereotypes.
Don't believe the media. Never. Never judge. Never believe them. Come here, see with your own eyes. I promise. Something will change when you come and see. What are the facts? What are the facts? Yes, that's the message.
Dear good Muslims, the Quran says in a few different places, in 4 places actually, that the Jewish people are going to come back to their homeland and that this is the homeland of the Jews. Look around. The will of Allah is that the Jewish people live in this land. How do I know? Because how else could we have defeated you? How else could we have pushed back against you for these last 70 years? Are we bigger than you? Are we stronger than you? Are we smarter than you? None of the above. It's because it's the will of Allah. And Islam is about submitting to the will of Allah. Submit to the will of Allah. Accept the fact that He has given you, children of Abraham, 22 countries in this region. He has given you love. He has given you money coming out of the ground in the form of oil. He has given you so much. But Al-Quds, Jerusalem, and this little land, which the Quran says belongs to the Jews, is ours. And Allah is with us. He swats away your rockets. And He gives us success. Why is it that Israel's in a renaissance while you and your societies and your civilization is in the process of decline? Look at it honestly. The reason you're in decline is because you are going against the will of Allah. If you would respect and submit to the will of Allah, you would leave us alone, give us your blessings, find a way to cooperate with us. And here in Hebron, the real will of Allah is that the house of Saud and the other Arabs comes together with the house of Israel, and together and jointly we honor our joint forefather Abraham. Until you learn to respect us and to respect the will of Allah by leaving us alone and giving us peace, you will be in decline.
Don't let anyone brainwash you. Look in a straight line. Jews and Arabs could get along. It happened many times in the past. In Morocco, it happened with the Muslim king. We have many stuff in common. We both went through many things. We're both from the same area, and our cultures are very similar. We need to learn from that and see how we get along without terrorist attacks from any side.
I really believe that Muslims that are living in the Western world, who have been exposed to Western norms of diversity, of multiculturalism, of mutual respect and tolerance, I think this is a message that has to come back home to the Middle East too. And I think it's important for all of us, whether you're a Jew or a Christian or an atheist or a Muslim, people have to realize that they have to learn to respect and tolerate one another. And that's the only future of Europe. It's the future of the Middle East, and it's the future of all mankind. We have to learn to respect people of different faiths. So I think that the message for the Muslims in Europe and in London and in England is, let's take the model of multiculturalism and take the model of tolerance and spread it all over the world.
I believe that Jews living here in Judea and Samaria respect Islam and have much more connection to Islam than sometimes the liberal Western people. In some manner, of course. No, we don't take everything from Islam. That's some things that I think that should be, fought against. But we believe in God. We are connected to the country. We believe in the family value. We are conservative much more. So these are things that help me understand a Muslim much more than a Western, liberal, left-wing liberal, even though they talk as if they're pro and they're for their cause. But I keep saying my mother was born in Yemen, and her father was born in Yemen, and his father for 2,000 years. So it's here. Yeah, I live this mentality. I'm Arabic in many ways. I don't want to offend the European people, but we never passed through Europe or America to come here. So I understand the language, and to be honest, there's many things that, for example, when I see the Arabic dance, the debka, that there's, I love it. I think there's many things that that I believe we should even take and learn from. I do. I also even like the muazzin. If it was in Hebrew, for example, at 4 o'clock in the morning, Shema Yisrael. Wow, that would be incredible. I think it's a very powerful thing. Of course, you don't want to, if it disturbs the us, though, you have to take into consideration other people. But again, as I said, we have many things in common on one hand, but on the other hand, Islam should make a change within itself. Islam, if they want Muslims, normal Muslims want us to respect Islam, then they're going to have to earn it. Because if not, this is going to be, a war against Islam, not only from here but from many other countries, and they are the ones that have to make that change. The more sane, or whatever you want to call it, the more subtle Islamic people.
Come and see for yourself. See for yourself if the stories are true. If the stories that Palestinians aren't allowed to use Israeli roads, if Palestinians aren't allowed to worship in Al-Aqsa Mosque, that Israel is an apartheid state. If you come with an open mind, if you don't first shoot the arrow and draw the bullseye where it lands, but if you really come with an open mind, and you're willing to have your beliefs put into question, come and see for yourself. So I would be happy to show any person who's willing to come with an open mind. Again, I am licensed with the Israeli Ministry of Tourism, and I would be happy to take you around, and I would be happy to show you the land of Israel.
Jewish people is not a people looking for war. We have a long history of not looking for war. We've had wars now, but doesn't mean it will always be this way. There's no reason to believe it will always be this way. It's an aberration. It's an anomaly. And, as you already know, there's no reason why we can't come to an understanding. We both know this. It's not a secret.